another episode of What Up Though Radio. Been gone for 2 weeks. Yeah, so we appreciate the sounds with our live studio audience. I know all y'all know, so we're back in Uptown St. Louis, the west side, the best side. Tonight we got a great guest, great show as usual, great commentary. One of the main topics of this evening will be the importance of the word no and how it can save you a lot of money and a lot of grief sometimes. But we're going to get into that later on. Of course, we got Ferris. He's in the middle, fast next to this joint. T-Love, again, we're at Prime 55. And he's responsible for us sitting here this evening.
Beautiful downtown,
We also got a Morning Star Live, number 92. This is actually their third time appearing on What Up Though Radio. They always come and tell us what they're doing for the community. A lot of times, just giving people some light, just light on the subject, because a lot of people don't know about the Masons work. A lot of people just don't know. So they're going to clarify some things and tell us what they're doing, what they got going on. Well, how y'all been in the past 2 weeks?
Wonderful.
That's great.
Wonderful.
Okay, everybody, all right. Without further ado,
Good evening.
you walk right into it.
Right.
There you go. Welcome to the Jimmy
We
Kimmel
can make
Show.
it happen. Without you.
Since you just joined us, man, tell us your role as a Mason.
I'm the Grand Lecturer for the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Missouri in this jurisdiction. Basically, what I do, I'm responsible for getting all the rituals together, making sure everybody's on the same page. We're all working at the same machine at the same time, and make sure that everything is cohesive. There's no confusion or chaos within the order when it comes regards to the rituals of the order.
Is that a strenuous activity, or is it like when you say you're making everybody sure everybody's on page? A large group of people like
Yeah,
that?
it's kind of tough because it's kind of tough because what it is you have to travel throughout the state, and you have some districts in the jurisdiction are outlined, which are like maybe 2 or 3 hours from the big city, shall we say, and if you don't pay attention to them and show them that they are part of this machine, they'll fall off and start doing their own thing. So you're constantly traveling, trying to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do.
So even with everybody with the same mission, but everybody still from different places, different walks of life.
Yes, definitely.
So it's still quite a task.
We have the same creed, we have the same philosophy, knowing you're really not supposed to take off and do your own thing, because this is with any fraternal order, everybody's supposed to be doing everything on the same page.
Are you sweating because it was outside?
No, I'm sweating because I had to run down.
Nervous.
I'm sweating because I'm illegally parked.
You ain't driving no Kia, are you?
I leave the keys. They got to tear it up.
They said a Kia.
Yeah, I leave the keys. Leave
the windows down.
They can remove it for you. Next to you.
I'm Ed Johnson, past Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Missouri, and also a member of Morning Star number 92.
Right.
And what I like to do also kind of tie in, as the Grand Lecturer came in and said his duty, Masonry, and I'm not sure if most people know what Masonry is. Masonry is a system of morality, veiled in allegory, and illustrated by signs and symbols.
Illuminati.
Can you say that one more
It's
time?
In simple terms, it's a system of morality. Men with good laws. Veiled in allegory. You see the glitter that's in it. Illustrated by signs and symbols that we talk about. Pause.
Wrote that down, didn't you?
I've been taught that all my life. But it's interesting picking up on that, because when you start learning about masonry, you also think about masonry, black masonry, Prince Hall masonry. And at times it's used intertwined. Masonry is all masons from that standpoint. Then you'll tend to hear about black masonry. And you'll hear Prince Hall Masons because Prince Hall was the first black Mason, a person of color, that actually had an official charter that started Masonry. And most people that are part of that want to take it back to that connection. Then, if not, then you'll hear people talk about Masonry is international. So I'm a part of the international Masonry for Brotherhood.
Let me say this, because like, if y'all listen to our shows, they should kind of know what y'all really about.
So which one?
If they listen to our show, because y'all was on here, of course, everybody's,
Right.
so we ain't gotta go back to that.
Okay.
But if anybody would ask you, why was it important? Why is it important to be a Mason, or why Mason is important? What would one of y'all say?
When I before I joined Masonry, I was heading down the road.
Are you saying Masonry or Mason?
Well, Masonry, I'm a Mason in the organization of
Okay.
Masonry.
Okay.
Okay, there's two different types of Masonry. There's Masons that go out and cut buildings and do construction work,
Right.
and then you have those are operative Masons. And we're speculative Masons. What he's talking about is that we take tangible tools and invest them in our mind and use them in our everyday life.
Okay.
But before I joined Masonry, I was heading down the road. You know, I was in the motorcycle club, alcohols, and all that. When I received my degrees, I realized that I have two masters. There's nothing master as far as slavery, whatever, but it's just
Right. I got you.
you know, I can't follow two different sides of life, and I chose to lay that down so I could become a Mason. Masonry has made me a better person. None of these brothers in here I've known before Masonry, but all these brothers in here were some of my closest friends.
How did it make you a better person?
It made me a better person because the tools that they gave me helped me with, you know how when they say you think before you act. I never thought before I act. Now with the tools that I have, the mental tools, not the chipper and the hammer and so forth, but the mental tools, you actually think before you act. Am I a good person if I do this? Does this make sense? Am I following the laws of the land if I do this? And that's what we embed in our brothers. To use your brain before you use your heart. You have to think before you can have emotion.
I need to be a Mason then.
Are there any female Masons? Y'all never been no females with y'all.
What do they call it? Eastern
Long-
Star?
They're Eastern
Order of
Stars.
Eastern Star.
Okay, so they're not called Masons.
Some
Why is that?
That's some of the European countries have female Masons.
So you would say it is important, Masons are important to this world. Why?
Masons are important to this world because when you have our leaders and so forth that are Prince Hall Masons or AF and AM, those are leaders that come from this organization. So they have the same like-minded concepts as far as the leadership. There's me and brother Keith Hart over there, we were talking about as far as military goes. You know, you have to have a military mind. A lot of our leaders are Masonic. A lot of our leaders were in the military at one point. So the reason that you need Masons, because Masons, our main goal is to give community service, to help our fellow man, not black, not white, our fellow man.
Right.
You know, there's instances where we have brothers that are, say, in Mississippi, and our counterpart, AF&M or Caucasian Mason, they would help us just because they know that we're Masons. So, but the reason that you need Masonry in the world, because you need community service, you need fundraising to help out the crippled, I should say, but the less fortunate, and that's our goal.
Speaking of the community service, been blessing us on the show, and I guess I can put this back towards you, that we were asking a lot of the stuff that y'all do, y'all don't really broadcast that you all do. Has that changed at all?
As far as just mainly putting it out,
Yes.
we don't promote Masonry as much as some may look at it in the past. It's something that you do and you let your work speak for itself. And versus in the past, you may look at it and say there's a lot of marketing, branding. There's probably more of that now than it was 100 years ago, 150 years ago.
How you feel about that?
To me, that's a major change. As it says, like old school and new school.
Right. So I think you gotta be like you on like both sides, I can count.
Right now, it's watching that transition and watching the history and realizing the history of Masonry and watching the baton being passed and knowing the people over time that actually pass those traditions and cultures on. And then when you get to see a new person starts to pick up those same type of traditions, it's like in a family. You might have an older person or elder that used to teach certain family histories and you wanted to be like them.
Right.
Well, in this organization, those cultures and traditions get passed on and you start seeing new people pick those up. And they learn from those elders. And all of that history and culture about Masonry, about our culture, about our people gets passed on. And it's so intertwined within, as you say, the militaries. It's so intertwined within the church system because within the Black culture, those were a big part of what we were about. It was initially the church. It was later on the military and the Buffalo Soldiers. Masonry was all intertwined within that, and those systems got carried back through Masonry and actually to families in the community.
Is there any time where, let's say, you have any political pundits that are Masons, are they asked to not broadcast that they are Masons, and in order to move forward, you have to put that to the side in order to become more important into the world, or do you wear that like I'm a Mason and this is why, et cetera, et cetera?
It's on your sleeve. Let's say that.
Well, this is my opinion as far as the politicians go. A lot of people join Masonry for different reasons. You don't know what that reason is. If you're a politician and your main goal is to solicit votes, you may get in, but you may not get the votes. Just because we're not going to record you just because you came in, just because you're Mason, we're going to vote for you. That does not qualify you to get my vote. And if you came in under that premise, then it's going to be all bad.
But why wouldn't it though?
Why wouldn't it qualify?
Because I would just figure if I was a Mason, that we all living under the same rules and laws. For me being a Mason, so if I was a legit Mason, I would think that everything I was doing, even if it was real life or political, that I would be doing this in the favor of the Masons.
Well, Masonry, we don't deal with politics. That's the thing. So say for instance, you came into the order, Masonic order, and the majority of African American are Democrats,
Right?
and because you're Mason, you say, hey, I came in the order. By the way, I'm running on the Republican ticket. Vote for him.
Okay.
How many votes you think you'll get?
But
Just because you're a Mason doesn't mean that you're entitled to my vote.
why wouldn't it trump that though?
Because if I don't know your character as a man, as if you're upright and so forth, if you came under the guise for political gain, if you came in the order for not to help the order, but to use the order, then because we have people like that, and they don't get very far, they don't succeed.
Okay.
You emphasize the character of the person versus just the association with the organization.
Exactly.
And that should speak more about the person than anything else, the true character of the person versus just saying they are a Mason, because all Masons may not really be of the same character and have the same values. And the idea is to get to know the person from that aspect and to prove yourself.
I think that's where I'm kind of lost in.
Has anybody ever been excommunicated? Like,
Let me get to go to this.
Go on the list.
It's kind of like, you can do some things that, as they say, get put out of the family, or get put out of Mason.
Like
or
what?
suspended.
Like what? Give me some examples. At least 4.
At least 4 examples. Okay.
Murder.
Treason. Pedophilia. You know what I'm saying? Running dope up and down the highway. Felonies. Pretty much any felony will not get you entrance into Mason. And then while you're in Mason, you catch a felony, it will get you.
So you can't be a felon to get in.
That's not what I
So
said.
now, we just put it out.
So let me give you an example, because we go to this. So say for instance, I'm 19 years old.
Okay.
And I'm running drugs in Colorado. I get caught. I do my time. Now here I am, 38 years old. Got a solid job, wife and kids.
Right. You're a change
Well,
man.
I'm a changed man. I did my debt. I understand what I did wrong. If you don't take me, it is what it is. But I think that I can contribute to this organization.
Right.
Next one, you get a DUI and you kill somebody. You're 21 years old. You do your time. Get out.
Paid your debt to
Pay your
society.
debt. Debt to
Okay.
society.
Right.
Function. You have a job. You're not doing drugs after none of that. You changed man.
Exactly.
But in the instance with pedophilia,
I got you.
that can't be fixed.
That's like snitching. You can't come back.
Yeah, you can't come from that.
You can't come back.
So it's not really. We do look at what you do prior to getting into Masonry, what you do prior, but there's lenience as far as you know what I'm saying, the judge of your character.
How long has the felon rule been up? Like, laws changes. Masonry is a lot older than the United States.
That I don't know that answer.
When I asked that, it's like, as we move on, what's up, man? I was thinking they I think 5% of they like.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Anyway, what was I saying?
We're gonna stop calling.
When I think about 5% is they kind of agree with American laws, and they try to you got to follow their rules. The laws of the land, they believe in the laws of the land. Masonry, the art of being a Mason is a lot older than a lot of establishments.
Right.
So how do you adapt to how the world evolves? How does Masonry adapt to that?
Well, in my opinion, Kevin James' opinion, so what I would say is that the morals that we teach in Masonry cover the adaptation of the world progressing. It's not an old school. The thought process isn't an old school thought process. You know what I'm saying? Be a good man. You know what I'm saying? You don't do this. We say that we have to follow the laws of the land with cheerfulness. Don't be a rabble rouser, none of that. Once you start getting away from the teachings that we give you, now that's when you fall into that area of being excommunicated, what we call excluded or expelled, kicked out indefinitely.
But there is a gray area.
There is a gray area.
Not the mixed Masons. You can't be bigger than the Masons.
Nah, they ain't nothing bigger than that.
Who is it?
Yeah. So before I get off the soapbox, the power of Masonry is the numbers that we have in Masonry. It's not confined just to St. Louis, Missouri,
Right.
or Blackjack or Sykeston or whatever. What it is, the power of Masonry is the people that are in the organization. You can travel out of St. Louis and be treated and looked after in the event that you really need, and that can be the gain for the Mason, but for the individual Mason. But our goal is to help the community. You talk about politics, we do run around and pick people up so they can vote, so they can register to vote, make sure they make it to the polls. Us as Black people, we overlook what we fought to get, and we take it for granted. And I believe it's us as Masons and as Black leaders in our communities to make sure that everybody gets to the polls, everybody gets to the benefits of what our people did, or what our ancestors went through just to get what it is.
How do we contact you all for something like that?
Well, there's like 8 numbers, but there's a guy right here.
Go to the website.
Go to the website. Yeah. So
Some of the things you said, we're gonna leave on the table too. We're gonna dive deeper into some of the things you said. But can you guys reintroduce yourselves and just let everybody know what you guys do and what your role is, how long you've been?
I'm Right Worship Kevin James, the Grand Lecturer for the Most Worship Prince on Grand Lodge, Missouri. My lodge is John B. Parr Lodge, number 8. November 12th will be my 10th year in Mason. 10.
Okay. Edward Johnson, past Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge, a member of Morning Star Lodge number 92, which is actually the 4th continuous Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge in Missouri. Established in 1880, had folks that were part of the Buffalo Soldiers, all part of that, connected to it from that aspect of it. So it's an old lodge that's out in the county. And from that standpoint, proud of it to be able to say, hey, it's shown how masonry can be a part of your life, how you can acquire it from that standpoint.
Okay. How long you been doing it?
35 years.
Gee.
I got one more question for you. You said it was established in
1880.
Is it any Black man who like the first who was Black?
Oh, Grandmaster?
What?
First Black
No, Black Mason, who
First Black Mason?
who was like the Jackie Robinson of Mason?
Oh, Mason. Oh, Prince Hall. We talking about Prince Hall.
Hall.
Prince Hall is the first black man, a person of color, that was started Mason. Got the charter from England from that standpoint.
I don't even know what grandmaster is. So.
Well, in the trades, you tend to say you start out being an apprentice, working your way up, sell a craft, and then now you're master of your trade. That's the term master came in from that standpoint because it was affiliated initially with the trades, masons and the operative. And they're having a beginner, a person that kind of has more skills, can work, do something on their own, and then a master of it that knows all of it. So that's what the master term tends to come in, because that person is very knowledgeable in the skills and what goes on in that area. They're a master of their trade. Versus some may look at it and say, hey, they're master when it comes to God and religion from that aspect of it. But I do want to clarify one other thing, is that since a lot of the initial leaders in Prince Hall Masonry were church leaders, I think at times people might have started calling it a cult, because Masonry leaders and church leaders were some of the same people.
Yeah, they co-boy.
Okay, on that note,
We're gonna ask them that.
you just left some heat up there for these next ones. So whoever's sitting down, come on, sit in this fire.
Come get this heat. Let's go. Appreciate y'all. Man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You got your notes ready?
Yeah, they
Y'all brothers, I kinda look like
They do. I was
There they go.
thinking that.
Hey, unfortunately, we get that all the time. All the time.
Definitely thinking
I gotta see it.
Hey, we get that all the time, man. Hey, if I'm not wearing the bird, he got the bird.
He said the whistle.
we're gonna start off with you at the end of the corner. Name and role as
Oh my God.
the most
These
honorable
rolls be
Mason.
long as hell. They just have a Mason.
Fourth corner of
Shortstop box.
I am right works for Keith Jefferson, J. Gaston, lodge number 18. I'm actually in line to be the Grandmaster in a few years, so it's an honor to always be here, just to bless y'all with the answers of the questions that you all asked. Illuminati, really?
Yeah, really.
Okay.
You know y'all would feel it.
Even
But
like
go
y'all
ahead.
talking sounds like
We're
the
gonna get
Illuminati.
y'all with that in a minute.
Sounds like a cult.
Go ahead.
All right, my name is I'm District Deputy Grandmaster Steve Dyson of the 5th Masonic District. I'm also a member of William H. Scott Military Lodge number 182 out here in St. Louis County.
and y'all roles differ how?
Our roles are different. I actually used to be in a position that this brother Keith Hardy in. I was actually the first Chief District Deputy Grandmaster of the state of Missouri. Our roles different. He's over the districts, and I'm over all of it. So kind of to put it, yeah. He the district. Well, I'm the district manager, and he's the manager.
Right.
So it's kind of everybody in this room is in a position to rise up in masonry, like the last two said. We kind of past Grandmaster Ed Johnson said it. We're in a different trans center where we got a lot of younger people.
I want to go back a little more to what they were saying, like the politics side of it. I do find it kind of strange, like nobody in politics, like I won't see them wearing their chain or wearing their ring. Is that something that y'all can't do or y'all choose not to?
That's funny. It's funny you said it. You want that? You sure?
You want to be the general manager? You ask that type of question.
So it's actually funny that you said that, and like right words from Kevin James said, it's more of we don't get into the religion and the politics game because it's more of the character of the man. Now, I actually was running for mayor for the city of St. Louis,
Okay.
along with Tashara Jones and all of them. I didn't make the ballot, but my character in masonry shows that if I would have got on the ballot, I would have had a lot of votes from brothers that are in the city that are Masons, simply because I say what I'm going to do and I'm going to get it done. And they know I'm not the type that, you get some people
Lodge may have $2,000 in there, cat's still $1,500. Well, that's not no money, and I'm not gonna lose my brothers over some measly $300-400 that I'm probably behind on. Hey, Mr. Timmy, you about to talk. I'm gonna have to leave the conversation.
As
No, but you know,
I do want to ask you, like, as you guys discuss our roles, is there a position where, like, Brother so-and-so master says stand down, so we got to stand down? Is any time where that happens, or is it any power thrusting where you're like, bro, I know you did all this, but you ain't all that? Like, I'm just saying, like, did it ever get confrontational like that?
So y'all laughing, it must happen.
go ahead.
He pulled that card all the time. That's what it is. He pulled that card, fellas.
No.
So look at Masonry like any other organization. So everybody here has some type of regular job, right? So you got business owners, you got some people work in corporate America. So you have your management level, CEO, supervisors, all the way down. So if you're a employee and your supervisor tells you, hey, this is not a good idea, or stop, guess what? You stop, right? So if your CEO tells you to stop, guess what? You're definitely going to stop if you want to continue to get paid. So this is the same type of organization where there are positions and there are levels, and those people are in that. They were elected to those positions. They weren't just, hey, we're going to put you here. No, most of our positions that like right worship is an elected position. Our grand lecturer, that's an elected position. So the whole body in the state of Missouri voted for those particular people to be in those particular positions. So we're on the trust that they're going to always make the right
For
decision.
the record, we are all sitting here, our own bosses.
So I disagree. I disagree to a certain extent, because even though you may own your own business,
We're our own bosses.
you own your own business, but you got customers. So your customers,
We make the money through the customer, but we are our own
That's what the boss.
because we can decide if we want you as a customer also. So we are.
So-
you want
So-
that money.
So let me say this. And I had to go back to political, but when y'all are really sticking together, like the Masons saying we're not moving on this. Like, what have y'all that maybe y'all can say like, hey, we made this happen? Because like my son, 17 years old, okay. Why would I tell him like, man, you should be a Mason? Like the Masons made this happen. The Masons did this. And I'm going back again because it's like we really don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I guess
So
you want to know when the last time y'all made the headlines, like, this happened because of Mason.
Well, basically, we do make things happen, but it's some things are not always for you to put in the media, because you'll get people always say, oh, you're Mason, oh, he gonna get off, or it's always something. I've been in courtrooms, and the judge was a Mason, and it's just certain, like Paris Grant said, signs and symbols. And you might just get that call in the back room. And once he knows and start talking to you, you might walk out that door. It might be just that warning that you're going to get, don't let me see you in my courtroom again.
So which way is up is real.
So it gets, I mean, it's real.
right.
And some people, if you just playing with it, you're just playing with it. So you really have to understand it. And like Right Worship Kevin James said, you have to understand the tools of your profession that's given to you. If you don't understand it, you're just a guy that's just walking around with a shirt and a hat on, and you can't defend nothing. So
Let me direct this to the manager. How important how important to you is that your kids become Masons?
Well, so fortunately, I have one son.
Okay.
And I can tell you to this day, he knows everything that we do to an extent of all of our community service. It's amazing. He knows when I put on a suit or a shirt that I'm traditionally going to a meeting or to do some type of community service, whether it's picking trash up on the side of the road, feeding people, doing Thanksgiving, and guess what? He's right there with me.
Okay.
And I want him to see a bunch of positive, especially positive Black men doing some things in the community, whether it's donating food to families in Kinlock, which we do every Christmas. He sees it, and I believe he'll do it on his own.
So it's not important for you then?
I'm not gonna say it's not important for me, it's his own road to travel.
I think you really can't say that because somebody else's son don't do it. They'd be like, well, I get it.
It's his own road to travel.
Okay.
I don't wanna make him do something, I want him to do it on his own free will and accord.
Are there any openly gay Masons?
Mm.
No, they can
You the plumber.
If they are, you don't know about them.
No, we said openly gay. That was
That's
the
what I
question.
said.
Would
If
that
they
be a
are, you
problem?
don't know about them.
I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
my ring on my
I don't know.
left
I don't know of any, and
Would it be a problem? Because based off your expressions, your body language, it says it would.
probably I would have to hear that to my right worship grand lecture.
But why?
That ain't his call to make.
But why?
Is he trying to be a grandmaster?
Does it change like if your character, if you like based on what the other gentleman said, he said it's based off your character and all that good stuff. So if he has, if his character is good, you know, and his morals are on point, then why would it? Who are you to judge?
I'm asking.
I mean, yeah. I mean, based off what? What do you so?
Based off the Bible.
That's what I was gonna get to.
Ooh.
So Masonry has Christian values.
Yes.
Okay, so I never knew that.
I knew that from the last time they was on the show.
So it's.
So y'all play God.
No, we don't play God. If your birth certificate says that you're a female, you're a female. If it says you're male, you're male.
Understandable, but if it's
So-
a gay man that's not trying to be a
Go
female,
be something else.
But that'll be a question for whoever's investigating him to take up on advisement.
So you guys really do investigations?
Oh, yes, we come to your
Like
house.
how? Ooh.
Come to your
And
house.
if you got a spouse, we talk to the spouse, because if the spouse says, no, I don't want him to be one, we close the briefcase up. Thank you for inviting us into your home, and we leave.
Is that because you want everybody in the family to be on point with it, or?
That's
Yeah.
controlling.
Yeah. I want to talk. You already had your turn.
we
You're
don't-
trying to get where you come on.
we don't want to break up a home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we don't know what your relationship is with your spouse. So if she mad at you, that's not the time to invite us for an investigation.
So what's the number one issue of somebody not being able to be a Mason? Like what's the?
Yeah, I was gonna say more of.
Is it? I mean, if it's more of a
You-
background check, was it?
Well, you have to have a police report. So it depends what's on that police report.
But you would think they wouldn't come with a background report already.
You ain't surprised.
That was like a song.
Hey, you be surprised how some guy be like, this should be off by now. When they get the police report, if you don't hear from them, you already know it's something that's wrong.
But ain't these people handpicked, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, that's like you being my friend.
Right?
You see that I'm a Mason, and you ask. Okay, so I know how you grew up, because we grew up, in the
Right.
same environment.
Right?
So it's up to me to vouch for you to say, I know you're a good dude. Yeah, we had some problems back in the day. We used to throw rocks over the Goodfellow bypass and bust car windows, but like what you say, we was 12.
Exactly.
Now we grown men, wives, kids, and you trying to do better. So it's more of a trying to find that guy that wants to change his life and maybe change his family's life as well. So it's a different vibe.
So with the investigation part, like how does it work? Like, does it start off with like somebody rank where he's at, and then moves up to someone who's rank where you at, and then rank to the grandmaster or something? How does that work when it comes to the investigation?
No, we come out, we ask you certain questions.
We, as in like everybody as a
It
whole.
might be like 4 or 5 people, depending on which lodge.
Okay.
Depending on which lodge you're going to. Some people have 4 or 5 people. Some got 3, some have. But the investigation takes place in your home. So first, find out that you do have a home. If you have a girlfriend or wife and kids, we don't bother the kids, but we ask a suggestion that you put the kids in our kids programs. Maybe the wife become an Eastern Star. So we try to get the whole family in that environment to where they understand. Because if I'm a Mason and my wife is not, there might be some problems like, you finna go with them again, or you know what I'm saying. So any organization you're in, you want your family to be a part of it.
What is the biggest difference besides roofing and somebody still got to work? Talk about a little bit. No distress. Between what y'all doing, maybe like joining the nation. What's the difference?
Good question.
Well,
I'm not in the nation, so I can't.
yeah, I was gonna say,
What they
I'm
do.
not in the nation.
I'm only on the outside looking in.
Right, I'm not in the nation, but I do know.
You want to come up and speak on this, school? Come on.
You-
Let's go, come on.
Yeah, so basically.
Come on, white words.
Come on,
So
campus.
basically, Nation Islam is geared to a particular religion.
Okay.
Okay, so we as Masons will not deny you membership because you're a Muslim. We will not deny you membership unless you're, if you're a Hindu or if you're a Jew, or if you're a Christian, or,
Let's
so.
go to religion now.
Okay, but that's what the nation is geared off. Is geared off one main particular religion. And that's why we say we don't have politics, religion to make a decision if you can be a Mason, if you're a good man.
Put a towel in.
Keep going.
Yeah, so that's why. And if you, I've listened to Farrakhan. My brother's in the nation.
Okay.
And he understands Mason. He understands the power of Black Masons.
Could you do both? Is that possible? To be a Mason and be in a nation?
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
can't be gay and be a Mason.
You can be in a nation and be
That's-
gay.
that
totally
was-
different
that-
ball.
yeah,
No,
I wouldn't
it's not.
ask that question. So
It's not.
It's a totally different.
It
ball.
definitely is.
Well,
It's a game changer. I'll put it like that.
Right, I actually get it. I
Okay,
get it.
so
It's a game changer.
let's, it's not really prejudice. It's not
It's not
prejudice.
prejudice.
Speaking personal freedom.
Okay, I'm sorry. So as far as that goes, as far as your preference, shall we say, everybody in your lodge gets a vote. So if you have an old soul that doesn't believe in that, you're not getting in, and you can't. And he doesn't care about your care because he's 67 years old. This is what it is. Us as 30s, 40s, and 50s, we may be more open-minded on that.
Right.
But the chance of that's why we go to your house. We go to your house because we want to see not how you live. We just want you in your own comfort zone, because the questions we ask and the interactions will tell us a whole lot about you. You don't even know that we're finding these things out about you. And it's not sneaky, but we just want to be within your own house where you're comfortable. Right? Would you feel more comfortable? You can cut your eyes. I'm just saying. Would you be more comfortable at your house or at a tavern? Or but as far
How many
as
drinks she had?
yeah.
Then she really started
This
talking.
year at a time.
This shit really starts out.
But
So let me
look, bro,
divert back to you because you have your turn.
hey, I'm out here.
You know what I'm saying? So once this, because I know people was like, it's hard to be a Mason. Or you supposed to ask, or you got to get asked.
It's always been an old saying to ask one, to be one, ask one. But basically, if a Mason sees your character and he gets to know you, he can ask you, hey, are you interested in being a Mason? But like I said, the old philosophy was to be one, ask one.
Are there any dudes in this?
Of course, any organization you got to do stuff.
I'm talking about your organization.
Yeah.
So it's dudes in this, right?
Yes.
What are they?
But all
Depends on what you make.
depending on what lodge you in.
Speak on your life.
Depending on what lodge you in.
Let's
So
speak on your life.
you know what? Speaking of, like, what's the real difference? What makes I'm pretty sure I know what I'm gonna say. What makes one lodge better than the next lodge?
So I wouldn't necessarily say one is better than the other. I think that every lodge has what we call a culture. And so I'm also a retired military guy. So I can tell you that what happens is just like every branch of service, there's a different culture in the Air Force, Army, Marines, Army. Like those are culture. But even when you break down those particular major branches, when you talk about different what we call signals. So if you're in a logistics person versus an infantry person versus an admin person, there's a different culture, and it's a different type of person that's going to fit into that particular culture. So if you're a what do you call it, a real artsy person, hey, this might work, this lodge might be better for you.
Is it a bougie lodge?
I ain't gonna say that.
Look, so listen, I feel like we get the answer for you. Is it a bougie lodge? Like,
Yes.
some people got money over there. Like,
You got a few of them.
they going out buying real coats.
You got a few of those. I mean, but like you said, it just depends on where you're gonna fit at to make you feel comfortable.
So like you being I'm saying the general manager, let's say if it was y'all wanted to do a back to school drive downtown. Is that something that you would make every lodge do, or does each lodge do their own separate thing?
We have done where every lodge have given. Matter of fact, we've done it with every jurisdiction.
What if they
We have
don't?
7
So,
jurisdictions.
With every lodge, okay, is there someone that's over all the lodges, like, is always just each lodge run individually?
You got a Grand Master that's over every lodge.
Okay, that's
Who
what
is
I was.
that?
So the Grand Master is Lamont P. Mitchell.
One more time.
Lamont P. Mitchell. He's actually in 182 Military Lodge. He's actually a member of William H. Scott.
It's like a
182.
whole board, right? Like a fraternity.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
The
Right.
whole fraternity, yeah.
Really, you don't call it fraternity.
Illuminati.
Can you guys give us more,
I'm calling it
your
fraternity.
name, can you give your name, your status again, so we can keep.
The
it rolling?
whispers, man. What you talking about? The whispers.
Again, my name is District Deputy Grand Master Steve Dyson from William H. Scott Military Lodge number 182, 5th Masonic District.
And right works with Keith Jefferson, right works with Grand Junior Warden Keith Jefferson, Jake Gaston, number 18 in 1st Masonic District.
And we are not twins. We ain't brothers.
got it.
It's my brother.
Did you join in the military?
I actually did.
Okay. So it is like a lodge, most of y'all lodges are military people.
At one point there was.
How do y'all, so, I mean, like, I appreciate, like, how do y'all do, like, with like the PTSD stuff, like, is that something that your lodge is bigger on? Anybody else?
That's a good question.
I'm dead serious. I know some of y'all crazy, like,
Hold up, because I'm ex-military and I'm not in this lodge. So,
like, you might have to join that, you're the wrong lodge.
you know what?
I'm just saying, like, is that something y'all look at a little closer, like,
I
we went to his house, dude, they got his gun, his gun and shit.
No, we don't really have those issues. So
What's the, okay, before y'all go, what's the funniest, I guess, story why somebody couldn't get in? And she'd be like, I can't believe they, like, y'all was there, so y'all seen that. Like, what's the funniest thing? You ain't gotta say no name.
I think I was just talking about this when I came in. Just somebody who's not even active, who wants you to bring somebody else in that's in their family and just want you to vouch for them. I'm like, the people in the lodge don't even know you, so I'm gonna bring your nephew in. Like, come on, bro. I can't vouch for him. I never even met him before. So it's just, you know, you just got, it's different stories in different lives.
What's your percentage rate?
As far as
Getting somebody in who you vouch for.
my percentage rate,
Oh,
I
100%.
think everybody in here is like 100%.
Oh, come on, man.
If my name on your petition, you got it.
All right. Next two.
Let's show the
Next two. All right, give me the honey.
Let's show the cards.
Next two, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
What up, though? What up? What up?
What up, though?
Y'all on fire tonight with these questions.
Oh, you finna get the real questions. We know you.
Come on with it. You know where your water at? We talked about this last.
Man, it's water and liquor. Go ahead, sir. We just got.
First time here.
Yeah, first time here, man. Go ahead.
Keith Hart, Chief District Deputy Grand Master of the most worshipful Prince Charles Grand Lodge in the state of Missouri.
You couldn't wait to say this.
Give me your last.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. Because, listen, all this sounds the same to us.
Yeah,
Say it again, please.
Chief District Deputy Grand Master of the most worshipful Prince Charles Grand Lodge in the state of Missouri.
So you're Grand Master.
No, I'm the Chief Deputy.
What's the-
How many is it in the row?
Okay, all right, that's what, break it down from
Top to bottom.
Okay. There's one Grand Master,
Okay.
okay? From there, the Grand Master has a few President's men. It's about 4 of those guys. There's one Chief Deputy,
That's you.
that's me,
So you right here.
okay?
So you are all the
I work directly, there's an organization's chart, I work directly with the Grand Master. I work
Okay.
directly for the Grand Master.
Okay.
And then there are 7 deputies across the state of.
Well, you the highest in the room?
No,
Who's the highest in the room? I figured that too.
Yeah, I would say whiskers. Whiskers.
he's the highest, he's the highest in the room today.
Okay.
Do you
Nah.
know his weight around?
No, not at all. But if he needs to, he doesn't have a problem doing so.
I believe that.
But then we also have past Grand Master Edward Johnson.
Yeah, right.
The 35 year.
Yeah. We know him.
He was once in charge of everything in the state.
So what's the, we get to you. What's the, how long you been?
15 years.
Has anything changed in the culture since in your 15 years?
Mildly, but I mean, I'm kind of like Brother Keith Jefferson. I came into the order later in life, so I was 40 years old when I came into the order, so I was a middle-aged gentleman, so I'm kind of raised with the old school, but then also younger enough to be around some of our guys. You know what? I had really thought about it. It took me 10 years to make the decision.
Why so long?
I talked about it a little bit with a good brother, and I just didn't think it was that important. Sometimes good things come to you and you just kind of wave them off, not really knowing, what it is that you're waving off. And then when I finally decided to make that decision, I was like, man, I should have did this 10 years.
Sound like a woman.
Hey man, you got
Go ahead, my brother. You're not new to the show, man. Come on.
What's good? What up, Phil Radio? Much love for having us back for our third time. My name is Past Master Dewan Harris, Morningstar Lodge number 92, the 5th Masonic District. My worshipful master is the one who set this up with you all. Again, Cornelius Strada, want to show him some love for making this house.
Support the show.
Yeah, so thank you for having us back. Thank you for having me back to talk about what we do. So, yeah.
So do y'all kind of bow to you? Do you bow to him or something?
Who we talking about? My
Your worshiper.
Well, I show him due respect because of the work that he does.
Okay.
If he's a well-worthy, qualified brother, I make sure that I give him his respect.
I like that.
And we need more than the same rules.
That's all I'm saying, because sometimes we can be too egotistical to give somebody else their love.
Okay.
That's right, man. So that's one of the things that we do here is we make sure people are honored for the work that they do.
I like that.
How many new members are y'all getting up?
I think last year we probably added maybe 175
Is that a lot in your?
to 200 members across the state. That's one of my primary duties is looking over and trying to increase our membership. That's one of my duties, is to increase membership.
What is? I guess we could say we jump to this. It's a lot of crime in St. Louis. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like the Masons? What are y'all doing to try to prevent crime in St. Louis?
Well, our Deputy Grand Master, Torres Beckler, is a person that's actually he has responsibility for a fight the crime type of organization, anti-gun violence, to where he gets out, does symposiums with younger men from time to time, and try to stop them and teach them about, hey, let's stop this violence.
So it's more proactive.
It's more proactive than reactive. That is correct.
Is there a way it could be any organization
Sure.
that you could get to deter and make the kids be more proactive instead of just going down these roads that we go down time after time after time, and not even exploring what's wrong all the time, and just like, let me try this first and see if this worked the right way, instead of like the problem in our community, we just always gotta see what's gonna go wrong, see what we can do wrong to do right before we can see what we can do right to do right first.
Well, we have a youth department that we bring those youth in and they get a chance to see examples of these men right here. Matter of fact, let me throw a plug. They're gonna have a Black Light Bingo. That's gonna be a phenomenal time fundraiser to help support our youth. So please come out and support the Black Light. It's gonna be at 4525 Olive. And I don't have the date right on top of my head. Maybe one of the brothers.
We need to.
We'll make sure,
October the
I'm pretty sure
15th.
finish it, tell us.
October the 15th is gonna be at 4525 Olive. The music's gonna be going Black Light. I mean, it's gonna be a phenomenal time. But those are the ways that we support our youth by raising money. We take them on trips to other states, other cities. We get them outside of these four corners that they're used to, so they can actually see, you know what, the world is bigger than just what I see in St. Louis. And sometimes just that exposure is enough that they need to say, you know what, this is not the life that I want to do something different.
Y'all support Black Lives Matter?
We support Black people, and that inclusive is one and the same for, you know, we just support,
We
support
our
everybody,
organization.
but we support our
See,
organization.
and I'm gonna say this
You
again.
know, we support our community.
To me,
Right.
part of the problem is, and this is just my opinion, that if y'all put y'all name on more things, the youth, they have to see stuff. This ain't the old school way of doing it. They have to see it. So when I see Masons, or even if it's got a stunt and drive your Benz down there one day, be like, hey man, this is what we doing. You know, because people saying it and doing this, it's fine. It's nothing wrong with it. But when people see things nowadays, like, hey man, we just marched down here and we did this food drive and we did this and we doing it. These are the Masons, whatever hall it is, really not that important. But I just feel like it's more important for people to see that, because then you might even get more positive 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, like, you know what, I want to become a Mason. Because now I got a way to join some other brothers on who, other it being so secretive.
Are you allowed
Sure.
to actively like protest against the system?
When you say
What
active,
do you mean? What do you mean by active?
Can you go out and do it yourself without
I'm
asking?
saying actively.
I'm back.
I mean active. I mean like we Morning Star Live number 82 are here. 92. We here for this reason specifically because y'all doing this to Black people. Y'all doing this to this or that, and we not having it.
You will typically not see the Masonic Order as a body to go against any really, what's the word I want to look? Political cause.
But that's
Now,
not political though.
Well,
I mean, it's a social cause.
you know,
You actually gotta watch yourself.
but
They'll
you're,
sue us.
yeah, right.
They restore it.
You gotta be careful when you align
You
yourself.
have to watch out.
You gotta be
for
careful when you
things.
align
Because
yourself.
the first time they see that conference square, they believe it's us.
That's right.
They cause it. Oh,
Listen, I'm being respectful when I say this. I feel like this is a cop out.
Okay.
Because if Black Lives Matter, I mean, the suing part, okay. But if I know that a man gets shot tonight wrong by the police, I would love to see the Masons out there, hand to hand, out front, like, man, these brothers standing for something. Not in the background talking to the police over here and investigate. Like, that's fine and dandy. But I want to join, if it was just me personally, I want to join an organization that's out front, like, look, y'all see what we doing. So when I come and talk to you, you already know what time it is. Like, I don't have to come over here and do X, Y, and Z, because you know what we doing. And I'm not saying what y'all doing is wrong, but you would think over time that some things might change inside of what y'all got going on. Like, hey man, we got to be more out front because people learn different.
understood. So we also have to think about, in any combative situation, you got people that got to play different roles in every situation. And so you gotta have your foot soldiers.
Right.
You gotta have your people that's speaking on you gotta have your people that's going, even back in the 60s, they had people that were prepared to get people out of jail when they were out front doing things. So you gotta have people playing different roles.
Exactly.
And so we have to keep that in mind, like we was talking about our Right Worshipful Torres Beckley, working with the police behind the scenes. Sometimes those things are just as important to be in front of the scene. So, but I appreciate you.
Are there any other entities that you guys work hand in hand with?
Black Panther.
You know.
What's funny about that?
But let's do a compare and contrast. You said Black Panthers, okay?
Okay.
Again, so now you're something that is more politically
Correct.
okay.
I give you that.
So you wouldn't see that
Is that political?
Now, well, Yes, to an extent.
Because it's, those
To an
groups were
extent.
established because of civil matters, not because of any political matters, because of social matters.
Sure.
A lot of times the things that we do or get involved of get robbed and turned into something political, and it wasn't.
It wasn't started to be that way, but it ended up being that way.
That don't mean that was your reason in your heart for doing it.
Correct. Indeed. But then on the other hand, you may see us partner with churches. You may see us partner with,
Okay, let me say this.
the urban league. The urban league get a lot of food drives. You'll see us partner
Let me
with
ask you
things
this.
like that.
Is
Go ahead.
it either one of y'all personally, like keep everything 100?
Go ahead.
Is there anything that you felt like y'all should have spoke up more for?
As an individual, we
Yes.
have many individuals.
No, I'm
that
asking
get
you. I'm asking you personally. Is there anything that you feel like we should have spoke up more for?
as far as the organization is concerned.
Yes, sir.
I followed the rules of the organization. So the answer.
See, that's the problem that I think that I would have, or anybody would have in joining it, because I feel like, where's my voice at?
Mhm.
Can you go to an organization like, hey man, the man just got shot. Let's just say George Floyd.
Sure.
Why didn't we go up there and march hand in hand with these other organizations? Why? Because we don't want to do anything political. We're doing what's right for our people.
Sure.
So I'm saying, is it anytime you can go in there and say, hey, Grandmaster, you work with them hand in hand?
Yeah.
Hey man, I think we should go up here. You wouldn't even say anything?
Oh, I can take anything to the Grandmasters, but more than likely,
But see,
the
this is,
Grandmaster is going to make the decision that there's probably nothing.
and I think this is why, and I ain't trying to be funny, why people like Pharaoh, well, I would say it was a code. Because if the masses are saying, hey man, we need to go.
Mhm.
Because everybody, like, I don't think one person can think for me.
Sure.
Like just, I'm just being honest.
Sure.
One person can't think for me.
Mhm.
So it's like, where does your opinion matter? Or when does it matter?
So what he's not saying that you as a man don't have the free right and free will to go and do what you feel is appropriate.
That is correct.
So
as an individual.
no one is abdicating your personal responsibility. You need to feel true to you and what feels right for you. But when you start trying to wear it as a banner of an organization, there needs to be some type of framework put in place so that you just don't run amok and you go do something, and then the organization is held responsible for your
That's why you
actions.
was in the, that's why you was in the last quarter.
That's
Hey.
I'm just trying to be
That's a great answer.
I'm
You
just
clear,
trying to
man.
be real with you. Just trying to be real with you.
No, I'm
That was a
just
great
saying,
answer though.
yeah, because like man, when I ask the question, not to try to be funny, because I know what people gonna say when we up the show, like, why y'all didn't ask them? Because I'm pretty sure somebody watching, like, man, I wouldn't mind being one,
Oh, sure.
but they might have the same views.
You have individuals. Everyone's going to think for themselves. And what people do in their personal lives is what they do in the personal lives. But as an organization, we have to be careful as an organization as far as what we expose ourselves to as an organization.
Brother D, what's been going on with you?
Man, you know what? Last time, thank you. I want to say thank y'all again. I just said it to her when we sat down, man. Y'all always come with the fire questions, the questions that the people want to know. You get the answers that people want to get. And even sometimes you get answers that you don't want to hear, but you still ask a question. So thank you for being who y'all are and what y'all do first and foremost. Y'all know we are out here in the community. You know, we are out here working in the community. Right words from Keith Jefferson didn't really get a chance to talk about the money that we raised for the scholarship at Lincoln University with the raffle. Yeah, come on. Yes, much love. It's actually an endowment for Lincoln University because community work is important. Y'all always have asked us to really tell the community about what we're doing. Last time I came, I challenged y'all to drink more water. I don't see no water bottles.
You supposed to call every week, man. Come on,
Got
bro.
one.
You supposed to call us every week, man.
So check it. So just for your guests that may not, for your new guests that's not here, to one of the things that we do, we promote good kidney health, and that's called through one of our committees called Family Kidney Lifesavers, where we have people that have had on dialysis, have kidney transplants, deal with kidney disease. Matter of fact, last time we were talking, we actually were on our way to work with the National Kidney Foundation. We actually had the largest walk team represented at the walk here in St. Louis.
Okay.
We're actually on our way to Kansas City on October the 9th, where we'll be participating with the National Kidney Foundation in Kansas City, Missouri. So we are really raising awareness that we as a community are 3 times higher to develop kidney disease than any other community, men and women. Why? Because we have some of the higher predictors for kidney disease. High blood pressure, diabetes are the 2 predictors for kidney disease.
You got nurses and doctors that go with y'all too?
Well, we have nurses that do dialysis right now that are part of our committee that talk to people. We go out to the clinics. Matter of fact, we just did DaVita 367 Dunn Road in the Snooks Plaza. We just donated 75 dialysis care bags, and then we got another 70 plus bags going to Kansas City. So we're reaching and touching people, not just the patients, but their families as well. So when I say make sure y'all drink your water on the in-between.
So I should ask for this drink when you
should have asked for your water back.
water back, look.
You should have got your water back. That's all. So because I'm not gonna come up here and try to tell nobody not to have their favorite drink. That's not what I'm here about. But I am gonna say, make sure you drink some water behind that.
Okay.
Matter of fact, drink some water in front of it. Then have your drink. Then have some behind it.
Well,
keep the system flushed.
Clean up, man. Before y'all
Just
go.
talk to me.
Before y'all
Talk
go,
to me.
we have to ask this question again.
Talk to me. What's that?
Why are y'all affiliated with Illuminati?
So,
I mean, everybody want to ask. Let's come on with it.
I'll take
Please.
This is it. Go ahead. Y'all
I
know.
mean, what in the world is the Illuminati? What is
Freemason.
but what is
Signs and symbols.
what is
Masters.
How you supposed to see? That's what we're talking about. That's what make us feel like
But you can't define what Illuminati is.
I can't define what a Freemason is if you didn't tell me.
So tell me what Illuminati is. I'm not
It's selling your soul.
It's actually not. It's actually illuminated.
You look like
Hold on. Wait. Dirty got it.
Right.
Dirty got
It's actually illuminated. It's a word to shine light on the sun.
You look
Correct.
like
So they've been kidnapped and made into something else that it shouldn't be.
All right,
Why are y'all
so
affiliated with it?
here's the based on my man's words. We as Masons are supposed to let our light so shine that people see a difference in who we are.
He definitely sold his soul.
You know what? In a way, you're right, sister. I have, because the Masonic order makes good men better. So if
Unless they're gay.
You wouldn't even get in the club, so it don't matter.
So if I sold my soul to do something better with my life, then you know what? I'll take that.
That's cool. Clean up, man. Hey, being a Mason does not mean you're an Illuminati, so don't be asking us when we get in the streets. These men are doing great things.
So let me leave you with this again. It's about these brothers right here. Let their light shine as men, and you will know who they are as men when you see them out on the street, how they behave and how they carry themselves. That's the illuminated side, like my brother Right Worshipful Keith James said. He said he was going down one path until his mind was elevated, and now he's on a different path. But that was because he met somebody that illuminated and shined the light on his life. Now he's able to be a different man.
Y'all do security?
We have some.
You gotta check in something.
And then I guess finally what I'll add is we need to make sure that we continue to carry our own history and our own legacy. We need to be the people to tell our own story.
I agree.
Okay? I mean, when you talk about a man like Prince Hall, most people don't know who he is.
I thought it was
But the reason why you don't know who he is because he was never put in the American history books. You never saw him when you were in school. This was a man who was the biggest civil rights activist before there were any other civil rights activists.
So why y'all not civil rights activists now?
Well, we are. You just don't see what we do, and that's okay. But this man was one of the biggest civil rights activists ever, way before the 1960s.
Are you a pastor?
Why do you think so?
You come off like one.
Okay, that's good. I'm a good man.
Hey, don't let that certain food.
I think we should just agree to disagree. Hey, check it out, man. We appreciate y'all tonight. So,
Okay.
Can I
go
ask you a
ahead.
question?
Go ahead.
When I come, if y'all have us back for the 4P, just have a definition of what the Illuminati is.
We got y'all. We got y'all.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Just have a definition.
I'll
We
have
got
one.
y'all. We got
I'll
y'all.
have one.
We appreciate y'all again, man. We're gonna drink the water after the tequila. Hey, appreciate y'all. We got our sauce been around.
Yeah,
Once again, man, that was first hour. We appreciate Morning Store Live. Always a good time talking to beautiful black gentlemen, illuminating their subjects and making sure that they keep the community together and they rock. Thanks for coming again, What Up Though Radio, and we're gonna keep the show rolling.
Thank y'all.
Much love to the What Up Though team, y'all.
Yes, what up, though?
Much love, much love.
As we move into the next hour of What Up Though Radio, man. Sauce.
Illuminati.
We are actually proud. It's a great moment, man. We're gonna have some really good people on our show. We don't get as many comedians as I would like to be on the show, but tonight, man,
All right. What a comedian, y'all.
we got I had never,
You guys can sit down.
man, I like to stay on top of what's going on. I actually never heard of this guy until last
Hey,
year.
Earl, you got a whole crew with him.
Last year.
Don't drop his location.
Yeah,
Don't not look at his chain. Do not drop his location on this.
last year I just had
Do not drop that.
what was it, last
Say
September.
it right there.
Hold on, y'all.
Say that.
Last September, I had the privilege to sit in one of the shows, and I thought you was hilarious. Fuck, I'm like, what the fuck is this dude? Like, and to see that you had already been in the game for 8-9 years prior to that,
Yes, sir.
and you had already moved to Chicago or to surrounding area of Chicago. Man, I'm happy to be in your presence tonight.
Oh, come on, man. We about to hit it. It's real. Oh, I feel good.
Why you go to Chicago?
Man, better opportunities, man, for as far as comedy, and it's just a tight knit group of guys, I got with some guys up there. Rest in peace, my man, Mr. Martin. He was one of the first brothers to ever bring me on the road. So it's just I got a tight niche, man. They had a comedy house stuff I ain't never had. I'm like, so all of us could just real, man.
Really?
Like for real, like it was a real.
A lot of jokes going on. You get put out. You can't go to sleep.
We got an air mattress. Everybody got a little air mattress. Y'all, it was kind of hard having your little ladies over there, but it was cool, man. It was like college again. So it was lovely, man.
So you got a great show coming up this week.
That's right. This weekend is amazing for me because I'm actually about to do my house special, man. Taking the gloves off. That's right.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and I am
Congratulations.
pitching it to HBO. So this is something
Okay.
amazing.
Oh, that's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
This
I need
this
to copy
when?
your ticket.
This is this Saturday. This Saturday.
What time?
7 o'clock, 8:30
Where?
Okay, I might be there.
at the Grandville Theater.
That's what's up.
How is it too late to get tickets?
No, it is
No,
not.
get tickets.
Y'all can get tickets. Go to metrotix.com, put in taking the gloves off, and that's it.
Okay, I'm being in the building.
And they're cheap too. They only $15.
Oh, okay.
Come out, yeah. $30 get you and your lady. Come on, man.
Why yo do?
Or your duty. Yeah. Or your duty. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out though. It sounds like a day.
What's been leading up? Why you feel like HBO? It's time y'all to get this sauce right.
Man, dude, first off, I've been on so much TV, man, that I've been out here, and sometimes when you first, I got on TV very early, so I was like 24, 25. You signing new contracts away, bro. You don't know what's going on. So, of course, you get more work as far as, touring. But as far as your back pay and all that, I was like, oh, man, I got to do something better. So, this was something for me to put my own money behind.
360 deal.
Yeah, for real. I had to stay on. Hey, bro, I was on the man. That's why a lot of y'all like, hey, what happened? I'm like, dude, I'm in contract. I can't do that. I'm on the shelf for 4 or 5 years.
Really?
But yes, dude, on the shelf.
So it's like the rap game.
It really is. It really, really is. It's like, and then when you're in that contract, you can't really move or do anything
because it has to come through.
Is it a reason why you felt in your heart why you got shit?
Certain things. I was just watching the first segment. I was talking about Illuminati, all this stuff. I'm from St. Louis, Southside, straight up.
Southside in the building.
Roosevelt, Southside,
Lindbergh, too. Okay, right there. You got
Southside, Lindbergh.
Yeah, dig up Lindbergh. Okay. Yeah, or Bayless or one of them. You know what I'm saying? One of them. Yeah. Roosevelt. What's up with that? You know. But no, man. It was moving so fast. Like I said, I was so young, man. And getting in that type of situation, I just didn't know how to deal. You know, I'm having real meetings with, you know, it's just me and, you know, white Jews right here. I don't know what's going on, but, you know, they have a whole format for me. They're like, I just had a meeting about you, but I'm like, I'm not there. I don't know how this goes. So a lot of it was just moving so fast. Once I got to Chicago, I was able to pace myself a little more. You know what I mean? Learn the business a little more. And I was actually happy with the 5-year wait out because it actually turned me more into an independent boss myself because they taught me everything. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I understand the contracts, I understand about numbers, I understand about residuals now, I understand about how they break down, you know, our content to sell it to XM radio, how it goes from here to there to there. So with this situation, it was like, okay, if my content is already, they're selling it. Why come I can't sell it my own stuff? Right. So that's what this situation was. Coming down to St. Louis saying, hey, I'm taking the gloves off.
Is the love different in Chicago than St. Louis?
The love is totally different. Of course. I mean, but I think that would be
less competitive?
More competitive because everybody around is doing what you're doing or better. Like I came in the game with Lil Real, Tiffany Haddish, all of them. You know what I mean? And not Tiffany Haddish, but in Chicago, but we were all hitting the pavement at that time. And you see how now the Real is probably in every movie that's coming out right now, cartoons, everything. So it's kind of like, man, you wherever your focus is, wherever you put, I put my focus more into the stand-up aspect. They put their focus more into the movies and the agencies and everything.
Give them more money?
Of course, right? Of course, as you told. But I think
underground community. You trying to be underground?
No. It's just once the situation happened with the leaving me, you know, on the thing on the shelf, I got kind of scared as far as signing those contracts again. So it was more of a simple fact of me saying, okay, well, independently, how can I come to the game? And that's what this situation is right now. Again, this is me coming to the game saying, Hollywood, I've already been here. I'm just coming back by myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just coming back by myself.
So you basically, you've been to the school, you learned, you ate, digested, didn't like how it came out, so now you're coming back like, now I know what I need.
I know what I need to do. And I'm ready. And I've grown as a comic. I mean, my situation has changed. My topics have changed. I've been through more now. You know what I mean? I'm grown. So I think this is the best of me that they are ever going to get. So why not me sell the best of me?
We had a lot of comments on the show. And I think we all kind of like always ask this question. Are there any comments in St. Louis that helped you get to where you are?
Of course. I think from St. Louis Slim to Jesse Taylor to Darius Bradford.
Is this personally or just comics?
No, this is. I mean, when I first started, everybody says they watch HBO. My mom, like I said, we wasn't. She didn't have no HBO package, so I really wasn't watching it from Def Jam HBO. I was watching it from actually going out. Actually, my uncle Harry Colbert. I don't know if y'all know him.
No, we don't.
Okay.
Nobody knows him.
Okay, whatever. But my uncle.
Shout out to Harry, though.
Shout out to my uncle. Okay, because he's story in my life.
You got it off the chest.
Story in my life. Harry, my uncle.
Just put that in there.
I slipped it in there. Oh, you better give me some money for this. Okay, all right. Yeah, because they looked at me like, who the hell is Harry? Okay, all right, Harry. But no, my uncle was throwing shows at the time, and he was booking the Hard Rock Cafe, and he was like, my little nephew was funny. He's crazy. He let me I think I was about 18. He let me get 5 minutes and then ran me out the back because I wasn't even old enough to be in there. But from that standpoint, I got to see Corey Holcomb and B Flat was there from St. Louis. Okay. And those were the first real comics I got to see that do the real stand-up. So really, I started watching the people I was around. Again, Jesse Taylor, Darius, St. Louis Slim, Brother Dre.
all them,
Brother Dre, shout out to Brother Dre.
and the late great Rodney Winfield was.
You kind of remind me of Rodney.
I look like Rodney too. I want to do a movie about Rodney. I really want to do the movie of Rodney Winfield. I want to do it. No, for real, I want to do it because nobody really understands. Not only was he from St. Louis, his story is so amazing because he went out there, he did so great. Richard Pryor took him right up underneath his wing. He was able to kick it with Red Fox. He was opening up for everybody. He was the hottest thing in LA. It was the situation. A lot of people don't know, even in the Mudbone situation, when he was talking about shooting at the car, that was Rodney Winfield because Rodney Winfield was messing with Richard Pryor's wife. A lot of people don't know this. That's kind of was his downfall.
Is that for the movie?
He was black. Yeah, but that's real though. This is real St. Louis shit. So
Sounds about St. Louis.
Sound like a St. Louis.
he tripped.
You know, my man went out here fucking my way.
He tripped though. But it was real, man. But learning from him, dog. Learning from St. Louis, it was real. You know, all those brothers had something to do with, I think, me affecting, getting my craft. I was a little bit of Darius, a little bit of Jesse, a little bit of Slim, a little bit of all of them until I found myself, right? Once I found myself, it was like, okay, I'm me now.
What's the biggest show you ever done?
Right now, of course, all the TV shows were the biggest, but as far as the actual show, I've headlined the Apollo twice.
Damn. How you do?
Man, it was amazing. That was probably one of my best shows.
Was you nervous?
Of course, because my name was in the lights. I'm on 125th Street. I grew up thinking like this is the place where everybody gets booed.
What kind of booze? What you?
First of all, I was already thinking that I'm like, I think they're gonna boo me on purpose. Just because how I sound, that over there, that East Coast coming from the South shit. I thought it was there. I thought it was going to answer me. But no, it ended up being very, man, probably one of my best sets I've had.
Yeah, the first joke like this gonna kill him.
Yes. You know what?
What was the first joke?
My first joke did kill him, my first joke was about New York and how mean they were. I was letting them know that in St. Louis, we say excuse. Right? I said, I don't know what it is about New York, but they have some habitual shoe step on. They just step on your shoe. Everywhere you go, they just step. I said, this old lady stepped on my shoe. And I didn't know what to say. I was like, she walked off. I was like, excuse me, you stepped on my shoe like that. She was like, get over it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna unplug her. Okay, I want her to die a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just because she wasn't raised right. You know what I'm saying? People say, excuse me, it's like, look, you felt a little toe right. I did not know that you felt toe. So I so once that point, they was like, okay, he knows about New York.
Now you was comfortable then.
I was comfortable. I was in my zone.
You had like this joke don't work. This joke that work.
What's your escape route? If you're on first 30 seconds, like damn, they ain't fucking with you.
You know what? Man, it's so many ways to try to escape. Most comics always do. You know what? Give it up for the lady.
That's how you know you're in front.
Come on, whose birthday is? Come on now.
Hey, if
Who's
I
my uncle?
so listen, if Saturday come, you say give it up for the ladies.
Yeah. I'm like, it worked. Hey, I'm just saying. But yeah, that's what.
Hey man, I don't care if y'all ever get all my friends now.
I don't know what.
So you never say give it up for the ladies.
No, I don't say give it up for the ladies.
What you say?
You know what I mean? I'm so real of a comic, man. I go directly into, y'all ain't like that. Very judgmental in this. I put it up on them. I don't never act like the joke ain't working.
That should be one of your sticks, so you can use it.
Y'all
Every time. No, I put it up on them. It ain't never me. I ain't never.
When you go from city to city, like you be in the news or be watching TV or just pay attention to what's going on in the world. So you get to Baltimore, it's fucked up. So
Right. I just lived in Baltimore. I just moved back from Baltimore. No bullshit, man. This is crazy. And I mean, you're gonna see the jokes in the special, but I'm telling you, Baltimore is just like St. Louis. It's exactly like St. Louis.
How was you in Baltimore?
Okay. Okay. This was my first time. First of all, I was 38, okay? So this was 2 years ago. This was right before the pandemic. I don't know what it is, but this woman, okay, she's a
Well, there you go. There you go.
yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I was just gonna get to it, but I went, you know, as a comic, you gotta go around. Okay. Yeah, man. And then I want to put myself out there that I never did it first. I want to put that out there. Never lived with a woman in my life, getting it up. Okay. Been a very powerful man. But yeah, it sounded like she had her shit together a lot more than I did. As a man, I was like, you know what? You sound prepared for life. I think I need to pack my trunk up and get the hell out of Chicago and go and live in Baltimore, even though this does not sound very good, okay? Especially for my career. They're going to say, okay, what's in Baltimore? This going to blow you up? I'm like, I don't know. But I went out there and was trying to be, you know, I guess a better man to me. I was like, she is going to change my life. I'm going to be better, baby.
He thought she was amazing.
Yeah, I thought she was amazing. I'm going to come back. I'm going to be working. I didn't know, man. I thought my life was going to change. I'm like, my mama going to be proud of me. Yeah, man. No, that ain't happening.
How long did it take?
I'm gonna be honest. Man, that first year I was feeling it was going down. You know, the first 4 months was crazy because it was just I was like I really lived here in this lady house. She started letting me know it was her house in a way. Too. I ain't never really lived with nobody, so I didn't know I had to really compromise like this. You know, but I'm like Baltimore, a long ass way to come get put out. So, you know, I had to start compromising. I'm like, nah,
Close my door.
yeah. She started talking to the hood and shit. Hey, I don't do this and we don't do this shit in my house. I'm like, what? You don't do this shit in your house?
Watch how you talking to me.
Yeah, I was a man. I think. Right? But then I started thinking about Baltimore. I'm like, damn, why do I keep going to my truck? Just sitting there thinking. I don't know what to do. Then I come back up and just try to change my attitude. First off, we gonna
Change my little attitude.
we gonna talk. All right, I'm gonna take the trash out, but we gonna talk different on how we gonna do this. First of all, I ain't no little punk. I ain't none of that. I'm from St. Louis. You know what? I gotta know the street neck there. Come on, man. I had to let the lady know what the fuck. Let's start fighting now. So maybe we might do something to you. I might do something. I don't know if I'll do something, but I might do something. I don't know what I might do.
Sound good.
Yeah, I'm capable of something. You're from St. Louis, you hear me? And half of St. Louis will tell you, oh yeah, he was capable. Yeah, we know how saucy. He sound like he I ain't even been around me in years. Niggas still gonna say, no, it sound like
From Minnesota.
Did he rob my little cousin? Yeah, I think he, you know. So yeah, it was definitely that. But no, oh yeah, Earl. Yeah, first of all, my road manager / little cousin over there is really pumping me with full of information that I'm going to tell y'all too. He's like, tell them about the other thing.
Because you didn't introduce him at all.
Yeah, first of all, give up my cousin.
And you look like you owe some money.
No, I do not.
You're like, well, you know how you want to give my money, nigga.
No, he don't say
Well, you want to get my money.
it.
Leave this show.
Man. Hey, Earl just that's why I gotta give him some money, because he be making people feel like giving him the money.
Yeah.
Let's give him the money face.
You ain't gotta say
Yeah, you don't gotta say nothing. I'm like, yeah. Hey, Earl. Cute face. Cute face, Earl. Come on, man. We want that money, man.
What are you supposed to say, Earl?
No, he in the Bernie Mac book, the new Bernie Mac book from come out. So
That's right. I mean, I'm in so much stuff, man. I don't be tripping off all this, but I am very blessed, though. It is a new Bernie Mac book coming out. It's called If You Don't Like Me, I Like Me.
Who wrote it?
Bernie Mac's publicist and his wife got together, and they're put together all the people that know Bernie Mac and was really cool with Bernie Mac. Things that they have learned from Bernie Mac.
So your Bernie was cool.
Yes, so
Should've led with that.
it's an inspirational
You're supposed to leave with that.
I know. That's what the girl is facing.
I'm cool with Bernie Mac. Like, okay, we got your attention.
Okay, well, I mean, yes, that was off the chain. But man, the book is now coming out, man. I'm very happy to be associated with the book. They actually picked me up, put my picture in there, put what I learned from him, which was perseverance. I felt like with Bernie Mac, you know, he never really got his just due until he was damn near 50, 55.
Like most people.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So for him to keep going, that's what I learned in my life. I've been in the game for a long time too. So to be in the game and still have, you know, the drive to keep going with it, the wheel, because that's the main thing with a lot of people don't see with a lot of these comics. That's why I love coming back to St. Louis and trying to uplift a lot of the comics here. Just keep, you know, that fire up underneath you. I know it doesn't seem like it's going somewhere right now, but you never know. Like, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. You never know when your just do is. I never knew I was going to be able to, you know, get to this level to where I'm strong enough to come to the industry and be like, nah, I got my own stuff. Like, I'm just feeling, you know, a different way now.
Do you feel like maybe it's because, like, you have to go to Chicago because there's more opportunities, there's less opportunity here?
Of course. I mean, that's one thing, but Chicago ain't nothing before I was away. And see, I was coming back and forth when I was here. Man, I would go up there and get on that Amtrak 8, the Greyhound, and go back and forth up there. Even if I ain't getting nothing but about $200-300, I would go up there, get me a little hotel, because I knew that if I ripped it up at these spots, the exposure, see, the things that they have in St. Louis are great, but in Chicago, they have things like Just for Laughs Festival. If you do the Just for Laughs Festival, that's where you find you're an agent. You can find you somebody that can help change your life, can find you work in the industry. A lot of things are not set up for us like this. That's why I would love to come back and do seminars down here, so to show people, like, find out where they're doing these showcases and where they're doing these festivals, and sign up for them, because that's exactly how you get on. You got to do this, because if you go to Canada, that's what changed Dave Chappelle's life. Once he did that set up there, it was over. You know what I mean? Those are those things that you got to do.
I'm gonna bring you into one of our topics. It's about the importance of the word no, and how it can save you out of being in some bullshit that you don't necessarily want to be in, because you stop it with no. So, like, through your trials and tribulations of trying to get to where you've been, has it been some time like, damn, I should have did that, and I know I shouldn't have done this?
Every time, my whole career. I'm telling you, it's been so many times that where I'm like, dude, come on, man, Sauce, you gotta be different. I mean, but certain sacrifices, I think I made them because I'm from St. Louis and because of how I was raised. Like, you know, when I first moved to Chicago, I moved my brothers with me. And it was hard for all of us. Find work, all that, everything, get them there. And I had a situation to where it was either go back, do this show with True TV out in LA, or pay my rent up, right? I choose pay my rent up at this point because I have to think about my life at the end of the day. You know, these people don't care if I live on Skid Row.
Right.
They're not going to help me if I come back. And I knew that about the industry off the 5 years I've already been in there. So, of course, you know, yeah, I'm like, damn, I could have made an extra, $1,600 or whatever it could have been at that time. But it was more important for me to take care of my family. And because of that, my brother and all of them, he has his own business, he's doing his own thing, everything. You know, it changed. So it was it strengthened my family with that move. So it wasn't really when I thought it was a bad move, it was really the best move. So sometimes those sacrifices are very, very important. So, but it wasn't best for my career, but it was best for my situation. So sometimes, like, again, I'm in this position to be where I'm at because of those type of decisions. That's why I feel like this is a great decision for me.
So there's no turning back right now.
It ain't no turning back. Taking the gloves off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Ain't no turning back. Yeah. I'm putting my all into this.
How long was this show that you're doing this week?
It's an hour. Both shows are an hour.
I need to be on
You gotta be on fire.
Yeah, the whole time, bro. Yeah, but I've been in this position. I'm ready for this position. This is the point. And showing my city, look what we can do. You know, I want to be an example. Come back. I want to come back right after this and be like, you know what? I got 4 more treatments. Now that I can sell content, I can come back here. And the areas and all these people, guess what? Now I can produce your special. Now I can do, you know what I'm saying? I'm behind the scenes now, baby. I'm doing it. I'm big
You're
boy
about
now.
doing like the skits, like the Country Wayne's Kitchen, anything like that? Or is this
Yes,
like,
I think that dude is the smartest dude in the country.
He's so not funny to me.
But he made, hey,
I think it's funny.
I think he made $8 million during the pandemic.
That's funny.
his following is beating
It's
shoot
huge.
P Valley and everybody
It's
who got the
huge.
hottest shows in the country
It's
right now.
huge.
So it's like he's showing the industry, my dude, I can make it without you. That's the way I respect about it. Funny, okay.
Not.
But I'm talking about the business. Oh man, I'm trying to get with him. Matter of fact, he needs to put out specials and I need to talk to him because you bigger than HBO right now. So if you put out the specials, that's what it is. I'm with you, country. I'm with you.
Look at that camera talking country right there.
Yeah, country Wayne, I'm with you, sir. Sir called me down in St. Louis. Get at me, sir.
You give it back to somebody.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Also, yes, with the proceeds of this, I'm giving back 50% towards the JW Global Foundation, which is for mental health. So we want mental health, and that's a big difference and big
That's a big
situation.
deal.
That's a big deal. I went to therapy too.
Me too.
Because let me tell you this, because of the Baltimore situation, y'all. And it's serious, man. I had to go. First of all, the lady was a doctor. She thought it was something wrong with me. And she said, we have to talk to about this. So she came for the therapy. I went, man. We Zoom therapy, man.
So,
It works
I
too.
think you was out your league, man.
I was out my league.
See, people don't understand when they out there. You went with a doctor in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And what was you doing at the time?
I was waiting on the check because it was a pandemic. I was hoping that the PP loans hit. I was over there praying.
So that's what she was like. I know she got
Man.
this. I got this loan coming, and I got you.
And she waited till I got my little loan. Shout out to Baltimore. Give it up for her. Okay, because I ain't never dogging the woman. 'Cause the woman waited till I got my little money.
Before she
Yeah, she didn't put me out of nothing. She said, you know, it said it might come Wednesday. Yes, so thank you.
Oh, man.
You support my little wig.
So, were you back in St. Louis based now?
No, man, I'm still out of Chicago, but I will be doing a lot of things back and forth in St. Louis, especially after this situation.
Were there any comedians like up and coming that you kind of like?
Oh man, on the St. Louis side right now, it's so many of them, man. My man Reggie Cush, man. Shouts out to Vincent Bryan, man. He's
My
actually
dog.
writing.
It's your dog.
Yeah.
You ain't saying shit all year.
Yeah,
That's
Vincent Bryan,
Hey, talk.
Vincent Bryan,
You don't need to
he
talk.
writing on the Miss Pat show.
No, but he ain't got no business talking though.
Yeah,
You didn't pay him to say shit,
he excited about this interview,
but he didn't get paid to
Yeah,
say shit.
excited.
He don't get paid to talk though.
Hey, that's why he messaged me. He texted the other day. I told him.
What the? Why you still?
No.
You got a job for him? Look, you look like somebody should give the money to.
Yeah.
I was me and Vince went to school. That's it.
That's your man's right there. Yes. And you can
Yeah,
After this
we ain't paying for this
show,
show.
man,
He just decided to say something.
I know you diving deep into this show. It's gonna be special.
Right.
I ain't no camera.
What else you got going on? I know all your eggs in one.
Hey man, of course. That's what I'm saying. I'm coming right back here. I'm gonna do a treatment that I'm doing for a sitcom called Sauce on the Side.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so it's about me working at a phone store, trying to be a comedian on the side.
Who's writing this?
Me.
Oh, yeah.
Come in, coach.
Yeah, this is something. I'm telling you, these treatments that I'm doing, bro. I do have a lot of big name guys, and again, my man Lil Rel and Tiffany Haddish, which I love them to death. They answer my phone, they deal with me. They're actually trying to help me with
How's she
a
doing?
lot of this too. She doing good, man. I'm trying to keep positivity about her right now. You know what I mean? On all her
Did you
things.
just sell
Cancel her.
No, I'm keeping positivity about Tiff right
We
now.
ain't gonna cancel no black people.
Yeah, we
you are.
don't want to cancel.
I'm
Tiff
like the
right now.
Masons. Pedophilia is not good.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, I saw everything, and my point of view was, me knowing Aries and knowing them, bad joke, bad timing, just bad situation.
What was the pedophilia though?
I'm not gonna go.
Well, you must have seen the video.
I saw, but I'm saying they
He
wasn't
in
no
the
pedophiles.
tub with a
Right?
kid.
They just saying they took the joke. It just was.
No,
it wasn't
I'm
fun.
saying, but they didn't.
You have-
They
did you
not
see the
pedophiles.
video?
Yeah, but I'm saying that. I'm not saying them personally. They're not pedophiles.
Right.
How do you
right.
know?
How do you got
No, I know.
the joke?
I know.
I didn't see it as a joke.
Tiff is definitely not.
I didn't see it as a joke.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
We're not
I'm gonna talk about that fast because I don't want you.
yeah, let's
I
not go
heard
to
you when you
that.
said on What Up Go Radio.
No, it's all good. I mean, when they know I got her back, man. So,
Wait,
Yes, you should.
yeah.
I ain't coming.
Yeah, I got it back.
What's the, where was the moment at where, might have been Baltimore, where you was like, shit, I don't know what the fuck I'm finna do.
No, it was before Baltimore, man. I had moved to LA when I first got on. I had just did the BET thing. And I had tried to stay out there for that year. I ended up moving to Torrance, California for a minute. Man, I almost ended up selling oranges on the side of the road with the Mexicans, man.
Well, you got Torrance?
Nah, I'm cool with everybody, but when you get to LA, man, I'm sorry.
Everybody and everybody.
Yeah, man, don't nobody know you like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody finna let you come to their house, man. I love my girl for the first time I see him, he said, oh, nigga, you funny. You gonna get some work out here, boy, you funny. I said, okay. He said, but you gotta live out here. I said, okay, well, can I live on your house? That nigga said, oh, well, you can't live here. I said, oh, okay, well, that was a good
That's
quick.
my birthday
That was a quick, you know what I mean? So he was showing me that, hey, boy, you got to stay out. You got to find some kind of way, but it ain't gonna be through my house, right? Which is great. You got to be 100. But no, man, LA is
That's the importance of saying
yeah. You gotta be on your game.
So right now, if I gave you $100 to go see one comic living, who would you go see?
$100 to go see one comic living. Right now, funniest comic, of course, I'm gonna say Dave.
Dave who?
Dave Chappelle. I love Dave.
What else Dave you know as a comic?
Now, you say Dave, I was listening to Corey Hoffman a couple of days ago, and he said the Netflix community was gay as a motherfucker. Like, you damn near gotta be gay to get on.
I believe him.
But I don't think he was talking about Dave Chappelle. He was really talking about Earthquake. He said that.
Right.
Earthquake gay?
I don't know.
Man, Earthquake.
You don't answer this. You don't answer this. You stay out of this point.
Yeah,
Earthquake gay?
No, I always don't know nothing about it. I always don't know nothing about this.
They fuck around ban you for life.
No, I don't know nothing about nothing on their personal life, okay? But all I know is Netflix is a great spot. Everybody, I mean, when you're trying to, I don't know if he was talking about just content or if he's talking about just specials. I think right now, of course, Netflix has the most, I think probably the biggest platform, but HBO, Showtime, and Comedy Central are still, as far as comedy, those where you want to go to with your specials. I mean, those are the top.
But you do love Netflix.
Right.
Look at the camera so you love it.
No, I love Netflix. Thank you for yeah, I love you guys too. Yeah,
Because they watch it.
yeah, and I'm watching. I'm watching Netflix. So we watching. We watching.
I'm watching Netflix.
Yeah, I'm watching. Yeah, I watch it.
So you say Dave?
I say Dave. Man.
You think Dave the funniest?
Well, Dave is, to me, I feel like as far as topics and just trying to come new and trying to stay on what's relevant, there's nobody better.
I think Dave got the biggest voice because he can say what he want to say. I don't think a lot of comics can really say.
That's true.
And I would say, like, I ain't never seen your show, but I don't know, like you got to be politically correct somehow.
Of course.
And that's really not Dave. Dave, to the platform, he can say what the fuck he want to say.
Right.
And he one of the few people that can get.
Well, and it works for him. I think I'm probably safe as hell. You know what I mean? I stay in my zone as far as a comic, but sometimes, you know, for the sake of the joke, sometimes you gotta be, you know, you gotta be real with yourself. You're not paying me up here to be politically correct. I'm here to be funny. So that's another thing that Bernie Mac, you know, was telling people, you know.
But then limit yourself though.
No, I don't think it limits you.
So you don't think I'm just let's just say Corey Holcomb. Like, I think we all think Corey like one of the funniest out there, but you don't think of like some of the stuff
But
he said.
he has a cult fan base. I think his fan base is so strong for him that it works for him. He doesn't really have to go towards Hollywood or that. Now, if he would want to get into movies, I think certain things that he does might, you know, scare certain people to think like, okay, well, dang, but if we do mess with him, is he finna say fuck us tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? That's probably the main thing. But other than that, I mean, I know Corey. Corey's a great guy. That's a good dude, man. Outside of all that, every time I've ever kicked it with him, man, that dude has been very supportive towards my career. He like, I was awesome telling you, man, you gotta get your ass on some real shit. So he's always been pretty.
I said so.
Yo, you better get your ass on some real shit.
One thing about you, man,
he's always been real with me. He's always been cool, and he gave me love even on 5150 one time. I was shocked as hell because nobody really gets love from him, like at all. None of the comics. He's always telling the comic, "Oh, you old puss ass. He ain't shit. He a gay nigga." I don't care about you fuck ass niggas. I want that nigga to come over. I'm like, man, this nigga is crazy. But he actually saw me. I was at Francis on 75th, legendary Francis, and I was doing a couple of minutes, and he got to watch me in rare form, and he went back the next day. It was like, hey, look, I saw some little funny, man.
I got two quick questions. Have you ever been starstruck?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I met Stevie Wonder, dude. And the only reason I was starstruck is because I couldn't believe that he was like it was weird. First of all, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna put my mom on here. I don't know if him and my mom had dated or something. I don't know. It was weird because I actually my mom knows. Like I grew up 5 years old answering the phone and it was Stevie Wonder. I didn't know who he was like that, but I'm like, wow, it was cool. So to finally see him, I was in the Apple store. He was with his walker dude. He has a guy that walks him. We were in the Grove in LA. I wanted him to know. I told my partner, I'm like, I know Stevie Wonder. He's like, nigga, everybody knows. I'm like, no, I know Stevie Wonder. Like, my mama know him. I went right up to him. I said, hey, man, I'm in that club or something. He said, what? This is when I knew he was hood, and I was like, Stevie Hood. Hey, look, he grabbed my phone and walked off like, Brady, what's happening?
Who's there with you?
Dude, my partner.
Call him right now.
Man, hey, Don Steve was with me. Don Steve, shout out to Don. Don Steve was with me, man. Hey, dude, the dude walked up, even the Apple dude at the store, because he thought I was playing. He's like, dude, you don't know Stevie. I'm like, dude, he's like, apparently.
The fuck Stevie's going to Apple store.
Dude, and he walked off like he could see. No, he walked away from the walker dude. He walked away from the hey, I ain't heard from you in hell. I'm walking with your son. That's how Stevie did me. He was like, yeah, what's up? I see him. I'm like, what? It was crazy. It was crazy.
My baby.
I was like, whoa. Even when I'm gonna show you the picture too. When you see the picture, you can tell me. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, it's real Stevie, man. Oh my God. But yeah, man, it was
what do you think you like? Because to me, you really funny at being descriptive.
right.
Like you fucked me up the way you tell St. Louis comedy to the T. It's
Yes,
like
sir.
I don't think there's a lot of people in St. Louis that know you. Like I'd be like, this dude is silly as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the way you describe being an Uber driver in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I can't go over there, bro.
Oh yeah. I mean, just being real. I mean, I bring everything to life about St. Louis. One thing about living here, man, it was so funny here that I used to work at that Popeyes right there on West Florissant. There used to be across the street from Club Legit.
Oh, okay, yeah, good stuff.
It got robbed with me there, man, and I knew it was an inside job. I really did, because let me tell you, I knew it was an inside job. Now the Popeyes ain't even there no more, so y'all ain't gonna go to jail, okay? But look, man, I knew it was an inside job because after we got robbed, that was the fattest check I ever got from Popeyes. I'm talking about, it was like $3,000. I worked there for 2 days. I was like, damn, okay, when we get robbed again? Can we get robbed every time? Yeah, I'm ready for it now. Oh boy with the list. Oh boy, kick in the door. I'm gonna just open up. Like, no, say you know what that is. For real, I was actually helping the robbers. I thought I was gonna go down for that. I was too good of a helper.
Say, no, that's 16, not 19.
I was helping them. I'm like, no, get the other gas. No. He's like, it's some more. I'm like, yeah, the drive-thru. We just got out of I was helping them. I was like, come on, dog. Yeah, I'm gonna get one of them checks again. Happening, baby. It was. But West Florissant taught me a lot. That's when I first knew that don't nobody ever say no addresses on West Florissant. It's just over there on West Florissant. Over there. You can call the real life police. Like, where you at? I'm over there on West Florissant. Hey, do you like where you at? I'm Popeyes.
Let me do this off. Do you have people in your circle? I'm pretty sure you do that. You tell your jokes to, and they be like, "That shit ain't hit." Or they scared to tell you that? Or
You know what? I haven't really. I test them out. Real talk. I test all my jokes out loud. Like if I know I got a new joke, I get so happy about it. I can't tell nobody until I get on stage. Because it's like, oh, because I want it to be fresh when I say it. I want it to be like, ooh, it hit like that. Ooh, I'm cold, right? I want that feeling of that. So it's kind of like almost basketball. It's like when you know you own. It's like, oh, okay, if I run this one, and this one together, it's over with.
So when you put your whole scheme together, some of these are jokes that you already told before. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah,
saying
yeah.
like the whole thing.
Oh,
like
no.
you already put it together.
You saying for this hour or?
I'm just saying in general.
In general. Oh, of course. Of course you have a set routine, especially when you're in corporate gigs and different gigs. You wanna kind of stay as safe as you can and as smart as you can, as quick as you can to get about these gigs. Because they probably some of the most boring gigs too. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not really finna get a crowd. They like, okay, it's a comedian, so what is he doing?
Right.
Yeah, it's not Eddie Murphy, so we automatically don't like him, right? We automatically
That's what
judge where he's coming from, right? So it's so you got to come with them with like your most funniest stuff from the front. Get out of there, play around with them a little bit, and get on. For your real gigs, like my headline, and I know they paid the tickets to come out and come see me. Those gigs, of course, those is calculated jokes. Everything is calculated down to the T. You know what I mean? I stayed up all night.
How you rehearse it? Like, is it a mirror or is it? I'm gonna call you and listen.
I'm in the car, man. Ever since Baltimore, man, I've been in the car, man. Yeah, man, I go to that truck, man, and she turned that to my haven, man.
So she really helped you in a way.
Yeah, she helped me. I can turn on the views.
Did you invite her to the show?
Huh? I did. No, I really did, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna say some things. You might want to come see it just for yourself, Is she come? I don't know. She was trying to see if she was thinking about coming.
I want to see her.
But beautiful girl, amazing girl, man. I would like to see you too if you gonna come out. But I don't know.
Look at me now.
Yeah,
look at me now.
Yeah, she might be a little scared. I don't know. She's like, oh, ain't no Facebook. Yeah. We talking about the fight. I'm talking about it. I got to say what happened. You damn you disrespected. You went home.
Twilight is funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm gonna dive into this because we do like a Mount Rushmore every time. So this is the easy one.
Okay.
What'll be your top 4 comedians?
Top 4.
We all gonna have our top 4, so you can disagree with us.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Ooh, nasty.
Richard Pryor gotta be up there. Is that automatic?
He is definitely up there. I would say Red though first. Red.
You agree with the Red Fox 30?
I know Red Fox
I
30.
ain't heard enough of his material.
No.
Are we saying TV or we just saying stand-up?
We saying straight stand
Overall.
up. We saying stand up, independentness. We saying rawness. We saying overall.
So TV count.
TV count.
TV count.
TV
You gotta
count.
put Red up there.
You gotta put Red up there.
What you think, Lil?
Long lasting.
It's funny that Jerry said that. I just watched Red Fox yesterday for the first time.
And he was a
Stand
beast.
up, and I watched it for 4 hours.
You done had to do?
Yeah.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down.
After one show.
I just YouTube it yesterday. I watched the whole thing.
So you saying Red Fox? This ain't no St. Louis shit, guys.
No, hell no. Look, man, I
We gotta see the picture, bro. You got Red Fox on you? You can speak now.
Yeah.
That sounds like a no.
No.
You got Red Fox? I got no. You got.
I got Rich, Eddie, Dave, and Bernie.
Whoa.
I got Bernie Mac.
I like that.
I got Eddie number 1.
I got
I like
Bernie
that too. I
Mac.
can't be mad at that either.
Eddie, my man.
I like
just
it.
can't fuck
I like
with him. I ain't
Eddie.
seen
I got Eddie number 1.
But as far as stand-up goes, only thing with Eddie, his specials, he just had one and done. He was one and done, though. Right?
Delirious?
Delirious was one and done.
He didn't even.
What
He didn't have to
What
go.
about Raw?
I mean, Raw was cool. I like Raw, but I feel like Delirious was his.
Oh yeah.
Maybe because Delirious was so good.
It was so good, right?
But what about the movie? Like Eddie, when it comes to the movie side, it's like it's untouchable.
Oh yeah, he gone.
So it's like life
Definitely
alone.
number 1.
After life, there's nothing you can say. That's why I made it clear. We're doing stand up only. So I set you up.
Yeah.
I set you up.
But no, I like your number one though, because he is that too, because he has proven both though. He has proven
Eddie
both.
to me was like, here comes this black man. I'm not afraid to talk about y'all being what y'all are, and I'm not afraid to talk about who we are.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lose nothing by doing it.
I'm definitely.
Yeah, he
gonna
was
be-
just, when I
Eddie
say how
one of the
descriptive
greatest of
you
all
are.
time, and even that.
Red Fox was doing that on TV.
Yeah.
But he wasn't no Eddie Murphy.
No, no,
though.
Eddie.
No.
You had to pay for Eddie.
You're
He was
right.
dirtier.
Red was like dirty.
Wait, hold on, T-Lip, what you saying? You taking Red over Eddie all time?
TV.
TV?
We said TV stand up.
Hold on, wait a minute. When I'm saying TV, I mean watching it. I'm saying watching it on TV, period.
I'm talking about Sanford and Son.
I'm talking about life.
Yeah, you talking about movies. I'm talking about,
That's why it's on TV. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm talking about television.
Man, listen, we cannot argue Eddie Murphy. Eddie, I got Eddie Murphy across the board, everybody. Forever Eddie Murphy
For
good
the
with you?
first?
Yeah.
You said for the first?
Yes. I ain't saying he
Just period.
Eddie Murphy up there.
Yeah, he on
So we got Eddie.
Yes, Eddie's on there.
Okay, we got Eddie. Richard Pryor.
You gotta put Richard Pryor on.
Richard Pryor.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Richard Pryor go?
Most definitely. Most
Farrah, who
definitely.
you want with Richard Pryor?
I'm gonna say this. Let me just get this out of the way now, because my shit might not even count. I have a very dark sense of humor, and it's not a lot of comedians that I find funny. No Kevin Hart, no Mike Epps. Somebody who is the best of all, the greatest of all time in my book, that I find hilarious, knee slapper, is Corey Holcomb. So
Oh,
There's
damn.
nothing wrong with that.
Corey, you got a real fan here, Corey. This ain't no game, man. You really going. Okay. Shouts out.
Corey ain't making the top four. But Farrah, that was a good,
No, that's what's
that was a
up.
good take. If we was
No, that's what's
that's
up.
just real.
Hey, you sold
He's
me.
a good brother.
But I was like, he was gonna say somebody like, oh my Corey.
Ain't no right. I
Corey
have a
funny.
dark sense of humor.
Corey, what
I
is
like
that?
when he say over 40 women that's pregnant over 40 gonna have them little girl babies and shit. Like this.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Corey is definitely
He is
funny.
funny.
Remember, it's like you're at the abortion clinic, you got the next
Yeah.
You know what? Corey is more realistically funny.
He is. He's
He
relatable.
more, he related.
He's
But he
relatable.
ain't making the list. So,
Hey, man, I gotta put George Carlin on this list.
I was finna
Who?
say,
I gotta
I don't
put
even know who
George
he
Carlin
is.
on this list.
I ain't the joke.
white
White guy.
White guy, he funny.
Hey, when I say, man,
He dead.
yes. When I say, man, as far as like as far as like breaking down everything was going on with the
George is
world, all of that.
So he on your Rushmore.
Oh, he's gotta be on the road.
What about Morton?
Morton is on Morton. You know what?
He only
Oh, that's
funny on
not-
TV.
Oh,
I mean, you already got four.
He only
No,
funny on
no.
TV.
Let me
What
tell you
stand-up was
this,
funny?
man.
Anything
He
different?
not funny.
What was funny?
Morton.
Morton was funny.
I like Morton, man, but I'm gonna be honest. Might not hit my fourth. It's somebody right before him.
Jamie Foxx?
No.
I like Jamie Foxx.
You can't count Jamie because Jamie more of an artist.
I like him on the stand-up though. Believe it or not, he's actually very funny on the stand-up though.
Jamie got good stories too.
It's not
Very
like
funny on the
comedians, though.
Jamie, but none of them are in Jamie class though, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Because Jamie in the whole other league, you know.
So we got Eddie Murphy, we got
Richard.
Red Fox, we got Richard.
You should have stuck in Corey
And
Holcomb.
we got Corey.
Right, and I put Dave on mine.
Dave
I
Chappelle.
put Dave on
Overrated.
Sorry, dog.
I like
Dave
Dave.
Chappelle.
No, we talking about
Overrated.
life. I'm just talking about. I like life.
I think I take Red Fox over Dave.
I like of course.
I think I take Red over Dave.
Of course, but I like life dads, man. If
They
you gonna break
been
down
funny
life,
for a
that's my
long
guy.
Cash, I ain't gonna.
time.
And he kept it 100. And Dave kept it a book. But
All
I
the
would,
time.
if I had to pick between Red Fox, I'm from St. Louis, I'm gonna go with Red
Me too.
over Dave.
Me too.
Okay.
So is it fair to say we're gonna say Red Fox? Who?
Richard Pryor,
Richard
Eddie
Pryor,
Murphy,
Eddie Murphy.
and Corey Holcomb.
No, Corey ain't making it. He ain't. Bernie
Corey
Mac.
Mac.
Yeah, right.
I would put Bernie up there.
No, what about
I ain't mad. I would definitely get
What about
Robert
Robin
Hurt?
Hurt?
Robin Harris got to go up there.
He ain't
What about
that
Robin
funny.
Hurt? Four.
wasn't funny.
That's
He
why we
ain't
got four.
funny.
You want to put Bernie Mac?
No, Bernie Mac was
What
What about Steve Morton?
No.
Hell
I like Steve, but no.
Let him keep
I like
on
Steve.
being on.
Who else you got? What's your four,
I
Lil?
like Steve. But man, you know, Mom's Maybe should have made this list.
What you say, PA?
Mom's Maybe? Oh my God.
Don't count.
Richard.
Mom's Maybe?
Eddie, Richard.
Eddie, Richard, Red Fox,
Red
and
Fox.
Corey Holcomb.
No, Mom's Maybelline. More
I don't
than
even
that.
know
I didn't
his
see no
name.
damn mob. He had heard that shit on me.
No, I went back and watched it. Marvelous cold. She was actually, a lot of people stole her jokes.
Who is she though? I don't know what she looks
Everybody know
like.
people stole her stuff,
cool.
man. Her,
Like Robin
Flip
Williams-
Wilson, all
like
them,
Robin
man,
Williams
I'm
funny
telling
as
you,
fuck,
they was
like-
killing them, man.
Robin Williams is funny as a
So we need a
Robert
fourth
Williams,
person
yeah.
if we ain't gonna go with my boy.
Can we put an ethnic with a white boy or something?
Gary Owens.
Whoa, no, I'm not gonna put him.
I like the Mexican more. I like Gary Owens. I think.
George Lopez.
Yeah, I like George
Oh,
Lopez.
you like Lopez?
Okay,
Lopez is cool.
Yeah, I like
What
Lopez.
about D.L. Hughley, y'all?
He's cool
He used
too.
to
He's not good. He's not gonna make it.
He used to be hella funny in the
I think
past.
he's a politician now. I don't
Yeah.
like Gary. Like he got old. too
What
fast.
about Arnez Johnson?
He said, oh,
Didn't he get old?
Arnez
He was
was
funny
cold.
as hell.
Oh, man, what about
Fucking hot sauce in 5 years.
Oh! Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Dirty.
I don't know how we go with the list. I don't know what's going on.
Before we go, tell us I got the name Hot Sauce Man.
Man, from the south side, man, was the reddest thing over there. Instead of call me red, I think the niggas just want to call me red. That's what it was. I was a whole condiment in school, boy. In school, like, nigga, I thought, you know who I am, bro. Put some on you, you did.
Oh my
Like, I hate
God.
him.
Leave us with something though, Hot Sauce. Leave us with a joke.
I leave us with a joke.
Yeah, you don't survive.
Ooh.
Freestyle joke.
Well, jokes, let me tell you this.
Let's not all
I feel like we've been laughing the whole time,
We
right?
have.
So I'm gonna leave with positivity, man. I want to leave with great positivity. First of all, support this man. What they do, ready?
What
Hell's the
up,
deal.
What up, though, radio?
What up,
Yeah.
though?
What
you
man?
fucking
What up, do? What up, though, radio? First of all, you got to support this.
I'm
That's
sick
that's
of
first off. Okay, hey man, I've been
We sending his ass
I
back
mean-
to Baltimore.
Hey, I've been smoking and drinking. Okay, hey, maybe you come in a good night. But hey, I want to say this though, man. For real, I just want to say support St. Louis, man. Support all of our situations, man, because we have a lot of talent down here, and you never know who's gonna be on the next situation. So it's no sense of treating nobody wrong. And let's just, take a bath too. I want everybody to take a bath.
I got it. You know what?
That's how this COVID shit jumped off, man. Not no washing no asses, okay?
We need you. I know we probably can't afford you. Just came on the show. We need you.
Yeah, 'cause I couldn't afford you last year.
We got a roast coming up.
You got a roast coming up.
Yeah, no, I don't. I ain't getting roast.
Okay.
What Up Though Radio has a roast coming up.
Okay.
Hopefully, Dirty will let you know. Hopefully, you'll be available.
Yeah. Come on, man. I ain't nothing but down the street.
Yeah, you was hot last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. And come out. Hey,
You
come
said you was
out.
high last year.
Yeah. I was out there. Hey, look. Hey, man. Come out to the show this Saturday, man. I promise you will not be disappointed.
Where
man.
you at? Where you at?
I'm at the Grandale Theater, man.
What
7
time?
o'clock show, 8:30 show, 2 shows, man. Come kick it with me. I got a lot. Hey, Murphy Lee gonna be in the building. It's gonna be off the chain, man.
You know what? I got a birthday party tonight at Elmo's. I'll be there at 7 o'clock. That's my word.
Whoa!
And I'm gonna buy my ticket. I ain't asked for nothing for
No, hold on, though.
What about my
Hold on,
ticket?
give my tickets. Give my guys my tickets. I want to give it to you now. No, I'm on it. Cause
We ain't gonna be close, man. Don't be looking like
no.
right
This is an everybody VIP show.
Because I'm telling you, like, if you say something, I'm
Everybody
gonna
is
say something.
VIP. Everybody is VIP. Get him. Yes, give them all of them. All of them. Everybody. Yeah, slide them down, and I got you down.
Nigga, what kind of tickets are these?
These the ones.
We're not getting this shit.
Yeah, get in. Them the ones
You can't get jiggy with this shit.
Yeah, them the non-for-sale tickets, okay? These are the non-for-sale. So these are
I'll
the
be there.
non-for-sale, so come on out.
Oh, this was up, though. Hey, listen, bro.
Shout out to
Listen,
Hot Sauce.
I ain't saying this because you're here, and I'm keeping everything 100.
Okay.
We had from Guy Tory to Zero.
Facing up in the city.
Bro, you a funny motherfucker, bro.
For real, man.
Man, shut.
No. Look, and
I'm being a underdog, bro. I wanted to come drag. I'm like, this nigga. I'm like, who the fuck is I was gonna talk about your ass.
Right,
Who the fuck is I talking on this nigga?
right.
You a funny motherfucker, B.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. And you want to be in this hour, you going to be really, so be like, dog, we got somebody from St. Louis, this funny, this raw. And
So you gave us one ticket, right?
But where do I see
Hold on,
it?
tell me I ain't gotta take my kid. Black baby, you only get me one ticket.
Oh, right. So, yeah, I got you two. I got you one more ticket. You taking your guy?
I already got two.
What type of shit?
All right. You taking your lady?
I'm gonna be out of town.
Okay, so you ain't gonna be here.
But you be your ticket.
I get the show killed.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going.
Hey man, first of all, man, thank y'all, man. Come support this, man. I'm at the ball. And
I feel like we owe you some money by looking at this nigga.
No. Do the face, man.
We close it out. Hey, listen, it's another special What Up Though Radio. I do want to close out. We do got the Polo versus Cost Party coming up October 8th at the Free Lounge. Fat gonna be here. Act like
I got some up.
come through. Fat got his birthday party coming up next week. Or this week.
Leave receipts.
Show Killer
Yeah.
in the building.
Yes, sir.
Hot Sauce in the building.
Yes, sir.
T-Love, thanks for Prime 55. Barrel Road, keep doing her, displaying these
And
women.
keeping it real on the
Keep
street,
doing-
shutting A-Verb down, making them block me on social media. What's up, what up, don't ready?
Shout out to the cameraman, that nigga finally talked to me.
Dude.
Oh,
See y'all next
We
week.
sat down.
Holla back.
oh. Who was this?
Somebody wants to like that. What's going on?
That was racist. Man.
Thank you.
My man.
Oh.